Welcome to The Explainer. Let's dive straight into something truly mind-bending today. We're taking a breathtaking journey into ancient metaphysical philosophy, specifically looking at a monumental text called the Zongjing Lu. We're going to completely unpack the Huayan Zong Shixian Mun Hexian Logic, the core logic of the Huayan school's 10 mysterious gates. Brace yourselves because the way you actually perceive the world around you, it's about to fundamentally change.
So think about this for a second. How can an entire boundless universe perfectly fit inside a single, fragile lotus leaf? I really want you to hold on to that ultimate paradox. Now, I know it sounds like a riddle, right? But in the philosophy we're exploring today, this isn't just some poetic exaggeration. It's actually presented as a literal, structural truth of reality. We're going to completely shatter your everyday, linear perception of space, time, and, existence itself.
The lotus leaf, our lens to the cosmos. Let's get right into it.
To understand all this, we're going to use the 10 mysterious gates. This is a philosophical framework originally formulated by the Huayan school and deeply analyzed in our source text, the Zongjing Lu. It basically maps out how the microscopic perfectly contains the macroscopic and how, literally, all phenomena interpenetrate without any obstruction. Basically, every single thing in the universe blends into everything else, but, and here's the kicker, without losing its own unique identity. It is, quite literally, the ultimate theory of everything.
Deconstructing space, the illusion of boundaries. Okay, let's dive into this.
We are so used to thinking that big things contain small things, right? And that small things are boxed in by their borders. Well, the gate of broad and narrow tells us those boundaries are an absolute illusion. The text argues that our lotus leaf maintains its tiny, specific, narrow boundary. It doesn't physically stretch out to become massive. But at the exact same time, its true nature perfectly covers the boundless, infinite universe. So being narrow and being broad, they aren't mutually exclusive at all. They happen simultaneously, without a single contradiction. The specific implies the infinite.
And that flows perfectly into the gate of one and many. Let's break it down. First, the leaf is obviously a single entity. We can see that. But second, because it shares the exact same underlying reality as the whole universe, the leaf perfectly reflects all phenomena. And third, all phenomena perfectly reflect the leaf. So the singular object and the boundless multitude just completely merge. There's zero duality here. One is literally many, and many is one.
Now, you might be wondering, okay, if the whole universe is in this tiny leaf, why on earth can't I see it? Well, the gate of hidden and manifested clears that up. The Zongjing Lu uses this brilliant metaphor of the moon's phases. When you look at a half moon, the dark side hasn't magically disappeared, right? It's simply hidden while the bright side is manifested. It's the exact same thing with the leaf. The leafness is manifested, but the infinite universe contained inside it is just hidden from your immediate perception. That invisible universe is absolutely still there.
Listen to this profound quote from the text. "In a single speck of dust, subtle realms peacefully abide." Just imagine that for a second. The text literally describes how vast, opulent, mind-bogglingly huge Buddha realms, complete with mountains, oceans, the whole shebang, fit perfectly into microscopic spaces like a pore on your skin or a single speck of dust. And they do this without shrinking, and the dust doesn't expand. It is just a breathtaking, awe-inspiring way to look at reality.
Indra's net, the infinite reflection. And this brilliantly illustrates our next point.
Enter Indra's net. This is the visual and philosophical climax of everything we've been talking about. Imagine a cosmic net stretching out infinitely in all directions. Now, at every single intersection of this net, there is a multifaceted, perfectly polished jewel. And because they're so perfectly polished, every single jewel reflects the light of every other jewel in this vast network. But wait, it doesn't stop there. It reflects the reflections and the reflections of the reflections.
So, bringing this back to our text, one single leaf contains infinite realms within it. It acts just like one of those perfect jewels, completely capturing the totality of the cosmos.
But remember, we're zooming in here. Within those infinite realms contained in the leaf, there are endless oceans of worlds, and those worlds contain infinite specks of dust.
And inside every single one of those microscopic specks of dust, there are countless more infinite realms, which contain more dust, which contain more realms endlessly. It is this stunning, dizzying interplay, an infinite fractal universe that literally has no end, no limit, and absolutely no boundary. No way, right? It's incredible.
The blending of time, shattering the linear. Time to shift gears.
We've completely shattered the limits of physical space, so let's do the exact same thing to our everyday concept of time. We usually think of time as a straight arrow, yesterday, today, tomorrow. Well, the gate of the 10 times completely flips that. The logic goes like this. You have the past, the present, and the future. But each of those three has its own past, present, and future, giving us 9 distinct time frames. But instead of a straight line, all 9 of these collapse perfectly into the 10th time, which is the simultaneous eternal present moment. All of history, all of the future, it's all happening concurrently right now.
As the source text so brilliantly notes, time has no separate substance, it relies on the flower to be established. See, time isn't some rigid container that events happen inside of. Time is an illusion that bends and forms around physical phenomena. So, a fleeting instant of a thought and an eon lasting billions of years, they are fundamentally the exact same thing.
Phenomena as mutual hosts. Let's move to our final concept and see how this all builds together.
We've conquered space, we've conquered time. Now we look at the relationship between all things through the gate of host and guest. And the core logic here is just beautiful. First off, absolutely nothing exists in total isolation. Second, you can pick literally any single entity in the universe, a leaf, a star, a tiny speck of dust, and make it the center. That is the host. Instantly, all other infinite entities in the universe become its supporting network, the guests. And the true magic? In the very next microsecond, a completely different speck of dust becomes the host, and the previous host becomes a guest. Every single speck of dust is constantly surrounded by a retinue of infinite other specks.
Which brings us to this profound realization from the text. Seeing this one leaf is seeing the endless Dharma realm. You see, this isn't just dry, abstract logic. It has a very direct, empowering meaning for us. The physical object right in front of you perfectly embodies the universal truth. You don't have to look light years away to find the cosmos, because it is entirely present right there in the leaf in your hand.
So, what you should truly take away from this explainer is this. You are the universe, reflecting itself. This beautiful, ancient perspective, it matters so much today because it completely removes our sense of isolation. You aren't just some tiny, insignificant thing living inside a giant universe. You are the host. You are the jewel in Indra's net, perfectly reflecting the totality of all existence.
So, I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder. If the vast, boundless universe with all its eons of time and infinite realms fits perfectly within a single, fragile lotus leaf, what infinite reflections reside perfectly within you? Thank you so much for exploring the depths of the Huayan universe with me today. Keep reflecting and keep exploring.